it's springtime at Chic Headquarters, and that means crafts. Today I'm going to show you how to take a tote bag that looks like this and make one that looks like this. And guys, we're going to get started right now. Hi guys, Cindy is Supposedly Chic, and happy spring to all of you. I thought what better way to welcome spring than to do some spring Easter crafts with you today. And what we're going to do is a couple of like sort of, I guess, do-it-yourself bags, and we are going to do sort of what I would consider to be a little bit of an unconventional style of craft. And we're going to use potatoes today. And what we're going to do is we're going to create our own stamps out of these potatoes, and then we're going to stamp them onto these tote bags. What a great idea to take just a standard blank tote bag and allow your children to decorate it and actually personalize it with their names on it. So then when it's time for their Easter egg hunt, first of all, no one fights over bag because they know which one's theirs, and it's actually one that they helped make. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to do these designs on this tote bag. They come in a 3-pack at Michael's. I pulled one out, but this is what you're looking for, and I'm going to put a link down below. And as far as the stamping, guys, we're actually going to use potatoes. I've cut a couple of them already. This one is an Easter egg. These 3 right here are going to work together, if you can sort of use your imagination, to create a bunny. It's going to have an ear here and ear here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually cut some legs to put. We actually use this same circle right here for a yellow chick, but they need to have little orange legs coming out. So we're going to, you guys are gonna see me actually cut the design on this potato here. And guys, you know how cheap potatoes are. You could, there's no end to the number of stamps you can make. Not only spring, I've seen them done before for pet paws and sailboats and ladybugs, you name it. The cool thing to know about potatoes is everything that's raised or everything that is actually etched into the potato is what's going to actually lead the design. Okay, so what we're doing here, so actually let me show you. On the Easter egg, you can see that I actually etched the lines into it, and I actually used a couple different colors. I practiced a little bit before we got on live, so you'll see that we're actually going to do like a pink, a green, a pink, and a green. But what's going to happen is that everything that's etched is going to actually create just a white, the color of the tote bag line. For the ears, for the bunny rabbit, it's actually raised. Okay, so you can kind of see the differences. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this potato, I'm going to move the tote bag out of the way so we don't get it dirty. Grab my cutting board here, and if you guys have heard me talk at all, I am not the, what's the word I want? I am not the craftiest crafter out there. I need guidelines, I need patterns. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to draw my design onto the potato, and then I'm going to cut it. The great thing about paint on potatoes, it does wipe off really quickly, so any black that's on here is not going to show up on our design. So kind of what I'm envisioning is just sort of like a rectangular leg with like 3 rectangular claws coming off of it. And keeping in mind that this is going to be the size of my chick, I figure that the leg should probably be about that long. So I'm just going to give myself a mark at the top and the bottom just so I kind of know where I want to go with it. And again, you don't have to do this. You can cut this freehand, but I am just not very good at that. So there's my first line. There's the second, and there's the third. So that is what I'm hoping it's going to look like when we cut it out. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to start with my X-Acto knife because I get a little crazy when I use a real knife. So I'm going to cut around these outlines, and I'm going to go down about probably 1/4 inch or so. Okay, and my goal is to keep all of this design intact. All right, so it was a little bit of a challenge in there, but there is our stamp now for the chicken leg. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp this with yellow, and then this little chicken leg is gonna come off this side. So now give me a second, I'm gonna move all this out of the way, get my paints ready, and then I will show you how we actually stamp it onto the tote bag. Okay guys, now it's time to paint. Real quickly, before we get started, I want to let you know I did put a little divider in between this tote bag. You can use anything, a scrap piece of cloth, a piece of aluminum foil. It just sort of ensures that any paint you have on this side of the tote bag does not bleed through on the other side. We're going to just do, again, a couple random designs. We're going to put some eggs and some chickens down here. And then in a little bit, I'm going to show you how you can actually personalize it with the child's name on top. Or heck, your name if you want to do the Easter egg hunt also. Two different ways to do this painting. If you have a multiple color design like on the Easter egg, it's easiest to paint the potato and actually stamp it that way. When you have a solid color like these, you can do either. You can either paint it or you can actually dip it in paint. We're gonna go ahead and try it, dipping it in paint and see how it turns out. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just feel like a kid, right? So I'm gonna put a couple eggs up on top and then I'll probably put like a chicken. Again, this is not at all any kind of structure. It's just having fun, okay? So we're gonna start with the pink because I love pink more than any other color in the world besides purple. And we're gonna just put a little bit of pink here in my plate. And I just use a paper plate so I can throw it away when I'm done. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my bunny rabbit. So my bunny rabbit is 3 pieces. It's a fat little body, sort of the top of his body, and then 2 ears, one and then the other. So we're gonna start with the little body. And again, I'm just gonna sort of put it in here. I'm gonna tap it just a little bit to kind of make it even. But again, I'm just having fun right now. As you can see, since I just flopped my potato all over everywhere. All right, so here's our body. Try it like this. And you know, if you don't really get paint on yourself, it's not really a paint project, right? Right. So hopefully you can see that. That's the little base body, I guess, of the bunny. Now we're gonna go and do the second half of his body. And again, just imagine doing this with your kids. It's so much fun. I am using Martha Stewart multi-surface satin. You can use fabric paint. You can use anything that you guys want to. So we're gonna go ahead and put the second part of his body right there. And now guys, it's time for the ears. And again, we're gonna do this twice. I've got it. One thing I just was thinking about that I want to share with you is anytime you're gonna come really close to another stamp, you see how I kind of started the ear all the way at the bottom of the potato? Because then I'm not actually putting the potato on an already painted surface. So we're just gonna dip this little guy in here. And so if I line this up right, we'll put one ear right about there. And we'll put one ear right about there. All right, look at that. There's our bunny rabbit. Hold on, let me make sure I get all the paint off my fingers. Make sure you get all the paint off your fingers, guys, because it will get all over your tote, trust me. So there's our bunny rabbit. We can actually go in with some white paint after it's dry and put on some whiskers and a nose if we want to. I think it's time that we play around with the Easter egg. So let me get another plate, and I'm going to actually do this one with green. Okay, and again, cool thing about paper plates, you buy a package of them and you can just do this all day with every color, one per. I can't believe I did that. That got a little crazy. Don't know my own strength, I guess. All right, so again, I'm going to alternate green and pink. And I like to kind of put a lot on here because then it allows it just to sort of have this thick in some places, thin in some places style. Which again, if you're a kid, that's all good fun stuff. All right, now we're gonna take the pink brush and we're gonna hit all the pink spots. And again, guys, just encourage either yourself or your friends or your kids to have fun with this. It's really gonna be, it's a personalized bag for you or for them, so let them do whatever they want to do. If they want to do an Easter egg, gosh, I don't know, brown and yellow, knock themselves out, you know? So, all right, so we're gonna put this guy like right about here, let's say. And there's our Easter egg. So you guys see how easy and simple this is, right? So now we've got a bunny and an Easter egg, and it's time for a little chicky chick. So I'm going to go ahead and take this same one that I used for the bunny, and I'm gonna make sure I wipe all of the pink paint off of him. Although, again, it's our project. We can put pink and yellow if we want. Okay, I think I got most of it off of him. And potatoes are really good that way, guys. I didn't realize that, but look at it, cleaned right off. So now I need to wipe my fingers off so I don't get my tote bag all messed up. All right, so we need one more plate now. Actually, you know what we're gonna do, guys? We're gonna put the yellow over here on the side because I'm actually out of plates right now. All right, and again, like I said, guys, we're just gonna sort of roll this around in the yellow paint, make sure it's all pretty well covered. Okay, and now it's time for little Mr. Chick. All right, so there's the body for the chick, and now we're gonna grab our specially cut out chick legs. And again, I'm probably gonna paint this on, and it's my chick, so I want him to have green legs. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I have a bunch of green paint sitting here just drying. No. Okay, and this one we can take a little more liberty with because again, since it's raised, only the raised stuff is actually gonna show. All right, let's see how this chick leg does. And my chick is actually kind of jumping up in the air, so his leg's gonna be off askew a little bit. Uh-oh, looks like that we didn't get any of his legs in there. But again, we can just take our paintbrush, because we know what it's supposed to look like, and we can just sort of hit it a little bit and create our own legs, right? And there's nothing wrong with adding your own embellishments how you want to. So let's go ahead and hit this guy again, and we'll put a little more paint on his legs this time to hopefully get that, get him to show up this time. So, all right. One thing I did notice, guys, and I might do in the future, is it was kind of challenging to figure out where to start this, so I might actually cut the potato off right here next time, and then it's a little easier for me to line up on the chick's body. But we will make it work, I promise. All right, did the same thing with the legs. That's interesting. So again, we'll just take our green paint. And we'll just throw some legs on there. Make this guy a little bit fatter. And then again, when that guy dries, we can actually add his face and his whiskers and that sort of thing. So guys, this just goes to show how easy and how much fun it can be to just actually use potato stencils and make some really cool crafts. So give me 1 second. I'm going to move all this out of the way, and we're going to talk about how we can actually personalize the name on the bag without having to have a cutting machine or any fancy equipment. Okay guys, so the paint's almost dry. So in a moment we're going to do all the detail work on the bunny and on the chick. Right now we're going to actually work on the personalization. And again, if you have a cutting machine, if you have a Cricut, a Silhouette, a Brother, easy peasy, guys. This tutorial right here is for those of you who don't have that. And basically what I've done is I took a little bit heavier than normal stock paper. So whether it's a piece of cardstock, this is actually a piece of like resume paper, so it's linen, it's a little bit heavier. What I did was I printed my name, and you want a font that's got big block letters. It's gonna be the easiest for you to cut out and to actually stencil onto the bag. This font is called Luckiest Guy, and I will post it down below. It's a cool font that you can download for free. So what we're going to do, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see it clearly. We're actually gonna take our X-Acto knife and a sharp X-Acto knife, and we're gonna cut out all these letters, okay? We're gonna cut everything out because what we're gonna do is when we place it on there, the outline of the letters is what's going to be on there. And we're going to keep the inside of the D as well for later on. So I will start this, and we'll probably just speed through it so you don't have to watch me cut through every one. So all of our letters are cut out. Now it is time to stencil it onto the bag. Okay, so we're gonna bring the bag up over here, and really the only guy we need to hold on to is the D, so we'll put him over there because we'll get back to him in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and line it up With the seam on here, I do know I have a straight edge on the top, and I'm gonna center it probably right about there. Give me 1 second, there are a couple places that are coming up and I wanna make sure they stay down. And the best way to do a stencil, guys, quite honestly, is with a foam type brush instead of an actual bristle brush, because the bristles can get underneath. So now we're gonna take some black. Again, you can use any color you want. I'm gonna go ahead and use black on this one, I think. This paint's getting pretty low. We use black a lot. All right, let's see if that'll do it for us. Just kind of want to mix it into the foam brush a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to hold down my letter when I'm doing it. And just sort of lightly tap. We can always come back and do more. But if you get a lot on there, what can happen is you can get it up under the stencil letter, and that's not what you want. And this one, when we cut it, the little curve of the end popped up a little bit, so I need to just make sure I'm careful around that guy. Okay, one more letter. All right, let's go ahead and pull that guy up and see how it looks. All right, not bad, huh? Now what we're going to do, once it is dry, is we're going to set this D inside of that D. Actually, we might be able to do it right now. And we're gonna hit it with a light color. I'm gonna probably go yellow. And we're gonna dab it in the yellow. We're gonna hold down this D, and we're gonna go right over that black with the yellow, right in the hole. And that's gonna provide us the hole for our D. All right, so there we go. There's my personalization for this bag. Our paint is not quite dry yet, guys, so we'll come back in just a minute and do the details, but I did want to show you one other thing. So give me 1 second. I'm going to change bags here real quick and show you a second way that we can do personalization without a cutting machine. Okay, guys, so a second personalization option, if you don't want to do the stencil, is you can use an iron-on type of sheet. This is an Avery, and again, I'll put a link down below so you get the right one. You want to go into the Avery software, because what it does, you can see here, is it mirrors the image. So the image is actually upside down. So when you iron it on, it's going to come out correctly. So you see on this one, I actually added a little image of a little bunny in pink. You guys can do that. What we're going to do on this first, because if you apply heat to this whole sheet's going to stick to our bag. So I'm going to cut it. And one thing I want you guys to know, especially on light colored material, is anything you leave around here, you're going to see. It's going to actually kind of look like a little bit darker beige. So I'm going to try and get as close as I can to my letters and to my bunny, so there's very little outline. So again, give me a minute while I get this all cut. All right, so let's put all this out of the way. We have our design cut pretty close. In fact, we could even go a little lower on the letters. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put it here just about in the center. And we're gonna hit it with our iron, guys. No steam on the iron. It's just gonna be dry heat going through here. And you wanna try and put it over your whole image if that's possible. And we're just gonna hold it here, check in about 30 seconds. It's a lot like peeling vinyl off for those of you guys who are Cricut fans out there, or Silhouette fans. All right, there we go. See, like I said, if you look really close, you can see where I cut the outline, but we got it pretty close. So guys, here is another way that we can personalize anything, a bag, a shirt, whatever you guys want to personalize without having to utilize a cutting machine. Right now I'm going to set the iron in this bag aside. We're going to do the last little bit of detail in here, and I almost forgot to show you one other way of doing stencils. So give me just 1 second to clear this out. All right, so we're just about done with the tote bag. All we need to do now is just do the finishing touches. One cool thing that I like to do with the bunny is I just like to take and I just cut a little piece off of my cotton ball. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of get a little more paint. In fact, we could have done it when the paint was wet. And just put a little bit of paint right here. Hopefully you guys can see that right there in the center. I guess the center of it is tiny. And then we're just going to actually put this cotton ball right in it, and then when the paint dries, the cotton ball will stay. Okay, now we're going to do just a few finishing touches on our chick. So I like to just really lightly just sort of outline some of my guys so that everybody kind of understands what these guys are. Just like that. And then we need to give our little chick a face. So what we're going to do, actually give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and still use this same pink, but with a smaller brush. And we're just going to do a little upside down triangle for the mouth. And fill that little guy in. Again, sorry, it's a little hard to do it upside down. Now we're going to give our little chick some eyes. So we're going to start with the white, and guys, we're actually going to have to come back off camera and do the black in the center of the eyes because I just can't leave you guys waiting here long enough for it to dry. But what we're going to do is we're going to just grab our little thin brush, and we're just going to do a couple little circular eyes here. And just know that these are going to be filled in with a little black dot in the middle once this dries. Alright, so yeah, envision him with a little bit of black in his eyes, and you'll see we've got ourselves a completed chick, a completed bunny, and then we've got the personalization on the top. There is one last thing I forgot to show you guys. For some reason, I don't know, there's another great potato famine. One thing that you can do is you can create bunny ears out of toilet paper rolls. All I did here is I used 2 toilet paper rolls. I cut one in half. I sort of pinched it so it looked sort of more oval than circular, and I glued it onto the main toilet paper roll. So you can see it looks like the silhouette of a bunny. So what you can do, and I'm not going to do it here, but you could actually dip it in paint, and then the same way we did the potato, just set it down, and it's going to give you that design. And then again, you can put little whiskers, you can do whatever you want with the bunny. Okay guys, so here's our finished product. Like I said, just a couple of minutes to show you how to do a really cool craft with your family. Guys, if you have not already, please hit the subscribe button now. Now that we're getting into crafts, you never know what's coming when you log on to Supposedly Chic. So let us tell you every time a new video comes out. Also, please like and share this episode, and let me know how you guys did. Did you do something else, different design on the eggs? What, goodness, there's so many different things you can do with this. Have some fun with it. Let us know what you think. And guys, until next time, this is Cindy at Supposedly Chic, and make it a great spring.